for the very first time right now on Dissidia NT. Now, I did play a little bit of the beta, and it was fun, and I'm really looking forward to playing this game with some of the kinks worked out and more of the content unlocked. I have the current feed up on my phone, and I will be able to talk to you guys and get your questions that way, so that way I don't have to put up all the stuff on the screen here. Give me just a second, and then we will get started. Alright, we don't need that on. Keep that sound down. Alright. Alright, we're going to go ahead and set our initial settings here. Obviously, autosave. Here we go. He's pretty good with his opening clip. And that's the only time I will ever air this for you guys. I'm not usually in the intro clips, but that one was pretty cool. Alright, so now we're here. Now let's see how we want to start. Oh yeah, this is the way it starts. At the very beginning here, it lets us pick our summon, our starting summon. And I'm a big fan of using... Let's see... Oh yeah, it's randomized. You don't actually get to see which one you pick. It just shuffles them up for you, and you get what you get. Let's go with... Well, what did we get? We got... Leviathan. Now, a lot of these summons have things to do with movement and bravery recovery. In this case, with Leviathan, we have increased debuff skill gauge gain. Meaning, before you summon him, while the gauge is still full, any X skill you use, which I'll go over in a little bit, will actually increase the rate at which you gain that ability to use it again. That's one little difference between the Dissidia NT and the old PSP versions. In the old PSP versions, you had one thing with X. You built it up, you used it to go into super mode, and you just went at it. And obviously, you know, when it says post summoning, that's any time while it's still on the field right after you summon. Now, we'll go over a little bit more here in a minute, because we're going to have to get through some more screens here, I think. Good old Moogles. Gotta love them.
There's still so much you need to see and learn. As you continue to flash, you'll recover myriad memories of this realm, Kubo. So how about it? Shall we practice the bare basics of brawling, Kubo?
You know what? I'll go through this just for you guys.
Splendid,
But I did all this in the beta.
Kubo. Enjoy your wonderful journey, Kubo.
Let's see, who do we want to play as? Pick any character. Wow, learn basic on blah blah blah. Tutorials can be played again and okay. Alright, so let's let's see, who do we want? Ooh, that could be fun. You know what, let's go with the Vanguard, because they tend to deal the most damage. Alright, let's choose Cloud for now. Alright, now, as opposed to the PSP versions of Dissidia, what you have here is you only have 1 HP attack at a time. As you level up a character, you'll get more. X skills, like I was getting at earlier, there is an X mode, which is different in this game. But if you look, there's different sets, and there's different types of abilities you can access by pushing the same button that would activate your X mode, but with forward or back on the left stick included, so that it toggles a different ability. Generally, they keep it simple. In this setup, whatever one's on top is the one you push up and the X button for. The one on the bottom is down. And obviously you see you got different abilities here. Well, let me back up. Oh, shit. Sorry about that. I'll go over it again here in a minute. But there are some different options. There's even different cosmetic options you can do on here. We'll start right at the beginning. Okay, here you go. We'll start with the most fundamental movement. Thus, the left stick, obviously like every other game, tells you, which way to move. But if you use the left stick, you can actually scroll through these pages. When I did it on the beta, it wasn't very clear, but... Alright, so... very first objective is to move to the destination, which is Nameless Guardian here. Done. Move to the next destination. And that's it. That's all there is to it for this one. Now, targeting was a little bit funky at first for me because you have multiple people on the battlefield, which was not something we had in the original Dissidia. Some of these are pretty simple. There's the one on the left, there's the one on the right, and there's that. That's all there is to this one. Now dashing is really not different from Dissidia. Oh yeah, you can run up trees and stuff in this one, which is kind of cool. Okay, so if you just push R1, you'll dash straight towards the thing you're locked onto. Okay, but in order to go up a tree, you have to hold. You have to press L1 or R1 and X at the same time. Now, this may make it sound a little complicated, but it's really less complicated than it sounds. Circle does everything. You can do a bravery attack while dashing, and that's one of your 4 bravery attacks. You've got a standard one on the circle alone, and then you push the left stick towards or away from your opponent, up or down, plus circle in order to do your other 2 moves. And obviously, square is just straight up HP damage. Alright, first objective, land the bravery attack. Just circle's fine here. Now breaking is obviously, for those who haven't played Dissidia before, it's when you reduce your opponent's bravery, which is above their head and to the right, to 0. And then, when your numbers are purple at the bottom, which means it exceeds their current HP, you can kill them. Now we're going to go over defending. Now there's 2 different ways to defend. The first one creates a bubble, which will nullify bravery attacks, but only for so long. And you do that by holding down L1. The next part shows you that your shield starts out green. Then when it's about midway gone, it turns to yellow. And then when it's red, you really want to stop guarding because you're about to be broken left wide open. And as this one here says, you won't even be able to move if you wait that long. So I strongly encourage you not to. And of course, if you're moving already and you tap L1, you can do side steps. So according to this, it says while you're still in the air and haven't landed, you can hit X to recover and be ready to attack again without. But if you don't, you'll be left on the ground for a second and you'll lose the ability to jump right back into fight. Now this says if you sidestep either direction, in any direction, you'll stay invincible just a little longer. Alright, let's go ahead and do this. And there's the recovery. Now we just have to guard. And as you can see, it's also over time and not just hits. You can only guard for so long. Now we're going to go on to X skills like I was talking about before. Now we're on to X skills, powerful abilities, and training abilities. Okay. Triangle controls all of your X abilities. Pressing up on the left stick while pressing and then triangle or down activates your two abilities that you saw on the previous screen before we got in here. Now, the one for triangle, which unlocks more of their potential, is on triangle just by itself, and it works in a lot of ways just like Dissidia did back on PSP. And obviously, you know, anytime you have an icon underneath your health bar, blue means it's a positive one, red means it's so. Now we're actually going to get into it and show you how they're done. Forward in triangle is X skill 1. Back in triangle is X skill 2. Now we're going to go over summons. Like I told you, they're a little different in this game. Now, this is an important thing to remember. When the summon gauge fills up, you can hold down your touchpad button to start summoning. It takes time, and you have to build up the bar. And the more people on your team that push in that button, the faster it goes. Now, if anybody stops summoning for any reason and nobody is summoning, it doesn't go away immediately, but it does start to deteriorate. So, in this tutorial, we're going to go ahead and, if you hold R2, it will summon just the core for the summon. And it doesn't matter what kind of attack you use, but obviously circle's probably going to be the better choice. Now we're going to go ahead and summon. And one of the cool things about this over the other Dissidias is your summon will actually run around on the field for a little while too. I'll show you. Well, it might not show me here, but you'll probably see it in a later one. We'll see. This cutscene interrupts everybody, including the enemy. And we're just going to go ahead and get this one done. You've got different canned chat messages you can do by doing up, right, down, and left. And each one are certain sets. Like one's for combat, one's for going after the cores, and different things. You know, you can use them to tell your teammates, if you're not in voice chat, what you're going to do. Now we're going to go over victory conditions. Standard matches, if your HP goes to 0, your team loses a bar, just like on J-Stars. And once your team loses all its bars, your team loses completely and loses the whole match. However, you are not out of the match if you're knocked out. After a few seconds, you'll be able to come back. Which is also like J-Stars. You'll see here now. Now I can come over here. It wants me to go over this circle and then push circle to revive. Now we're going to go ahead and knock out the mock battle and show you a little bit of how this is done.
I'll admit you have the courage, but have no wits. Just do what you can.
Triumph and triumph, Kumo.
Alright, now we're going for kill. Wow, okay. Let's go back to the core. Come on, man. Get over here. There we go. Good night. There's also a dash gauge if you didn't notice.
Summon a greater strength. This calls for a summon. Crush them under the ocean's waves.
Well, as you can see, Leviathan's actually still out here. That's what I was saying earlier. See him? One of the things you can do to keep yourself constantly gaining bravery is once you break an enemy, leave him alone and go to another one. Get another chance to break and get your damage up there a little bit, like I just did there. Here's a free break.
Your boss with HP attacks, Kubo.
Now all we gotta do is kill one.
Your boss with HP attacks, Kubo.
Oh wow, he knocked me out of it. Nice job. I definitely don't want them getting one, if I can help it. There we go, we did. And that's all there is to it. Now we're going to get into something a little more advanced, okay? We're going to teach you dash canceling and some of the more intricate things that may be a little more difficult to figure out on your own. Now what this says is after you attack, there's a period of time where you can't do anything. Now, there's dash canceling will allow you to shorten that time, but only if you do it just right. And what it means by dash canceling is you cancel the ending to the attack to go straight into a dash. And all you have to do is hold R1 after hitting with the final part of a close range attack to pull it off. So now I'll demonstrate it. Okay, we're going to go into circle attack, something basic. That's dash canceling, where you go right into it real quick and I don't have any downtime. That's all there is to it. Now we're going to do evasion cancel and guard cancel. Now this is in case you really need to defend yourself real quick after finishing up an attack. It's another option you can use if you feel like somebody's going to go straight in and try and hammer you during that time. And it works almost identically to your dash canceling. It's just a different button. You can hold L1 to go straight into the block and cancel the short and cancel the downtime again. Or you can sidestep. You've got two choices with this one. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to do both of them for you. There's the guard cancel. And there's the sidestep cancel. Now we're going to go over a little bit more about how to do this. I went over Breaker here a little bit earlier, so it'll be real simple. You can actually interrupt somebody's HP attack and save your teammate with that. Alright, I'm going to have to go back and I'm going to have to select a marksman real quick for the next one. Alright, let's go back in and finish this up. We need a marksman. What do we have that I like? You know, we'll go good old Shantotto. Oh, what I was going over earlier. This is what I was talking about. You got different chat settings, and as you go through the game and you collect more treasure, you'll collect cool little things you can say and whatnot. But here's where you select your weapon look and your outfit, which you will also unlock by just doing more things, collecting treasure and whatnot. Alright. Alright, when two sharpshooters try to pick each other off, it's often the one with the greater firepower who prevails. When two ranged attacks collide, they will either annul each other, canceling each other out, or one will be negated on by the other and will go through and just wreck. Now they have 4 levels of strength. Weak, moderate, potent, and mighty. Obviously, mighty beats everything but mighty and cancels out. Potent beats everything but mighty and potent. Moderate beats weak, and weak only cancels out with another weak. And some attacks are considered anomalous. They could be any one of them. Now, when an attack is anomalous, it will actually pass right through, even if it's another anomalous. Oh, come on, Tara. Fight back. It's no fun. There we go. And that's all there is to it. You can block an attack with an attack if it's strong enough. Alright, we don't need marksman for anything else, so no other limitations. So let's go ahead and pick Cloud back up, because he's one of the easiest, I believe, in the field to use. Alright. Next one goes over poise.
This is exciting here, Kubo.
Now, if you have an attack with high poise, we'll have a lower chance of being interrupted by any attack. Now, this is where the whole Vanguard, Specialist, Assassin, and all that actually have a real effect. Each skill has a poise value attached to it. And the poise is determined by the character type, like I was just saying. Vanguards have the highest, Specialists are second, Assassins are third, and Marksmen have the lowest. Meaning, if you're playing a Marksman character, you should not be in there trying to fight close range. It's just not going to work. Now, HP attacks have more poise than any bravery attack from a Vanguard, Specialist, anybody. Doesn't matter what class you are if you're going for HP. Now we have to break through Terra's attacks in this one. That's how it's done. I broke right through it. Now we're going to look at the flip side of this coin for interrupts.
Learn this lesson well, Kubo.
This is where you can save your allies and really do a lot of harm if you know what you're doing properly, which can take some practice and battlefield awareness that you'll develop over time. And just like with poise, Vanguards have the highest interrupt, then Specialists, then Assassins, and then Marksmen. And again, HP attacks will interrupt any character's bravery attack, just like it keeps your poise from being interrupted. Oh, come on. Oh, I need to do HP. Okay.
Practice makes perfect, Kubo.
Just like that, you can save your teammate. Now here's one of the cool things. Tandem attacks.
Learn this lesson well, Kubo.
In this one, we're going to attack Furian's target after he starts hitting him and combo into an HP attack. Just like that.
Look closely, Kubo.
So what we're going to do is we're going to be the one who starts this time. And it's that simple. It's another reason why you should really stay close to your teammates in this game. Now we're going to go over another match type in this called a core battle. And the entire objective of a core battle is to destroy your opponent's core while keeping them out of yours. Now I'm going to go over the rules really quickly. Now let you know the basics of fighting in this game, and even a little bit of the advanced. Core battles you cannot deal damage to the core if there is even one opponent in their own base. Now the same goes for you. If you go fall back to defend and they don't knock you out of the core area or you don't leave, they can't deal damage. And this, and this is where L2 will actually have another effect in addition to switching to the target to the left. You know, I went over earlier and told you that you can lock onto the summoning core by holding R2. Now holding L2 will actually lock onto the enemy's core in a core battle. And just like that, that's all there is to it. L2 targets the core, R2 targets summon.
This is incredibly important, Kubo.
This is what I was talking about earlier. The core is immune from damage as long as there is one opponent in the zone, which you can see is defined by a shield. So what you want to do is knock them out, lock onto the core, and start dealing damage.
Look closely, Kubo.
Now, the only exception to the invulnerability to the core is when you're recovering. Or when you've just been revived and you haven't quite entered the fight again yet.
Try for yourself, Kubo. Learn this lesson well, Kubo.
Like I said, the only objective in this is to destroy the core. You have as many lives as you need to end it one way or the other. Now, one thing you should know in this is, as opposed to a normal match, you will actually suffer a revival penalty. So it means there's a couple seconds in there where you're actually not going to be allowed to revive, but then you'll be able to come back. He's going to kill me. Okay, now I'm incapacitated. And even if I run in here, I can't respawn yet. Not until that timer goes out.
I got us into this. I'll get us out.
And bravery attacks are good enough for this. Now we're going to go over everything we just did and do a mock battle so you can see how it plays out. I mean, against the CPU, these are fairly easy. Usually they'll just go after the other CPUs. Usually.
Team to crush the core wins, Kubo.
So when it's just me against the CPU, I usually don't even bother fighting. I just start dealing damage. I generally tend to be able to hit them more than they can hit me. Wow, they're making me liars today. Get Terra out of here.
Besieged, Kubo. Guard against attacks to avoid agony, Kubo.
Oh, there goes Kane. He's not even going to bother, it looks like. Like I said, the CPU's usually pretty down, so. When you see they came all the way back to not even stop me. And that's all there is to a core battle. You lose your core, you lose the match. Now, we've run out of all the combat stuff. Now, there's useful things in the system section as well, and we'll go over those real quick. And then we'll get into the... Now, as you level up, you're going to gain what's called Memoria, and you're going to be able to use them on the story tree, which has both cutscenes and battles in them. Now, each level you only get one Memoria, from what I've noticed from the beta, to unlock one spot. Now, there's a gauntlet mode you can do on your own, which is also kind of useful for leveling up characters at the start. Just keep the difficulty low. Now, there are rewards for getting above a certain point threshold. And you'll be able to assemble your own CPU team for that if you want. And you can actually level up other characters while doing that, even if they're CPU. And we went over the whole character type section a little bit earlier with the other tutorials. But here's the biggest thing about them. Vanguards move slowly, but their attacks have a huge range. Assassins move fast. Marksmen, obviously, from a distance. And specialists are just different. That's the only way I can describe them. They have their own unique qualities. And as you level up, you're going to gain X skills, treasure, Memoria for your player level, or P level. And raising your character level will give you more HP attacks, and chat messages, and customizable things. Now, there's a whole ranking system that's used to match you up with people more on your class, as far as how you've fought so far. And as long as you're only in bronze, it will not go down, but once you hit silver, gold, mithril, platinum, and whatnot up, you can actually lose ranking points. I mean, there's a customization menu. I'm not really going to go into it a whole lot, but there's a lot of things you can do to kind of make the characters your own and whatnot. Now, treasure you'll get from winning matches and whatnot. And there's also a shop that you can check out, and it has some weapons and whatnot and all that good shit. You can check that out on your own too. And there's also sparring matches, I guess. They weren't in the original, but what we're going to do next is we're going to show you the story. And how to work and how to get through it if it's such you know what you're doing here. Actually, apparently we're not, because this is blacked out. I mean, but there's a whole grid here you can look at. So we're not going to worry about that, since I can't show you. Unfortunately, they have some black scenes. But what we will do is we'll check out the shop, just so we can take a look at it together. Because this was not available in the beta. Looks like they got a lot of stuff for the different characters here. Let's see for Cloud, and we'll see what we got. Can we try any of these on? Nope. Now, if you get duplicate treasure, you'll actually get extra gil back for it. And without further ado, I think we're going to jump into this a bit more. We'll do a couple online matches here. We'll do a ranked match with Party. We're going to go ahead and grab some randoms. I don't expect this to be a great experience just yet, because I don't have any customized stuff yet. But. That'll do.
Waiting for friends to join forces with, Kubo.
I really like sheer bravery. You can actually take 2/3 of your bravery, split it in half, and give it to your other teammates. We're just waiting on the party members to be ready. Sorry about that. I was just checking this controller. I just got me a new controller. I want to see if it's charged yet. Oh, you guys have been tearing it up. Nice.
Select the summon, Kubo.
Wow, some of these guys got all the summons already. We're only 3 days in. I think our team might be outmatched this time.
Don't think you can go back even if you wanted to. I won't disappoint you guys.
Horde incoming, Kubo. Go crush that horde, Kubo. Finish that foe, Kubo.
Bye-bye.
Use your skills,
Come on, guys. Catch my back here just a little more in the yard.
You're surfing, Kupo. Use your skills, Kupo.
Plunge lances of ice through their hearts.
Wow, victory in the first match. Works for me. Now with that, I'm going to let you guys enjoy the game yourself. I've showed you everything you need to know. The rest is just practice. See you around Twitch and YouTube, folks.